It's good old lazy river. You just kind of get in and let it take you.
You
Yeah.
do. You do. Is that a Disney
Yeah.
thing?
The lazy river?
Yeah.
I think every water park's kind of got one going around it, and you just kind
Oh,
of
okay. Okay. It's a water park thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just get in a tube and just kind of float.
crack open
Okay.
a beer and just relax and see
Yeah.
where it takes you.
Try to open a beer. Don't know. Can you do that at Disney World? It's a small, small
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
They
after.
I
do.
mean, yeah,
Epcot.
Epcot has their food and wine
Oh yeah.
festival and you can drink around the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I
I was
I
gonna
I did
say
it.
my
I
oldest
made
daughter
it
had her 21st birthday there, and she tried to make it at
right. I made it
every
like four
nation, but
countries, and
right.
yeah, it's a little
Wow.
tough. Gets a little
Okay.
rough.
All right. All right. Um, we are. I just got this image of being absolutely shit-faced at
Oh
Disney,
yeah.
Right.
Oh
which
yeah.
I've done in the past. Right. Hello, everybody. Hi. My name's Ian Taylor, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. This week we have Wesley,
Hello.
we have Keith,
Hello.
we have Jason,
Hello.
and we have Josh.
Hey,
Don't know why I said your name is Josh then. Just
Josh.
maybe not. Before we started this recording, in fact, before I came in here, I built this fabulous little. I just want to tell you this because it was just great. You can get these little Lego Marvel like magazine stroke comics in supermarkets over here, and they come out every like 6 weeks, and they've always got an action figure on the front, like a minifig, which is pretty cool. And you can kind of see I've got a load of them up there in the little case. Today's was especially good. Check that Doc Ock out.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
pretty
cool?
That's pretty
Friggin'
that's,
sweet.
You got a
That's
lot of
good.
brick for your money in this bag.
yeah. That's
That's cool. And
awesome.
all the arms move as well. They're all like fully posable joints and all that. I can't even do it. I'm trying to mirror image it. Why don't I just look at the actual thing? There we go.
There's a
So
whole market on minifigs too,
I
where
love it.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
certain ones only come in certain sets and you can't
that's
get them
right.
separately.
That's right. That's right. So the good thing is a lot of the ones that come out that they bring out with the magazines, um, and I think these are you get these in Europe. I don't know if they do them in the US. I don't think they do at all.
I don't
You
think so.
often get minifigs that and you can go on websites and they'll tell you, this minifig was in kit and it'll give the serial number. So you can often get figures in these without having to buy the kit. I mean, obviously, they come out every month, 6 weeks. You never know what's going to come up ahead, but you can get some pretty cool little minifigs. I love them.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love them. So yeah, Doc Ock. Unfortunately, Doc Ock won't fit inside my little kind of window thing I've got up there, so he's going to have to kind of do his own thing. But great, I've got him stood up on his legs, which you can't see because the camera's there and he's there. But take my word for it, it's happening.
I've seen a couple people set up like the whole like the Avengers Tower and then Doctor
Yeah.
Strange,
Yeah.
stack them next to each other like and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I've got a Daily Bugle behind me in the box.
Now that's the one with Black Cat
Ooh.
in. That's the one with Black Cat in. Which I have seen listed separately because what people do is the minifig market is so healthy. People will buy those big kits and split out all the figures
And they'll
and
part
make
them
their
out.
money back
Yep.
and then some. So it's a really big thing. I'm here for it. I love it. But yeah, people occasionally buy me kits, and I'm like, it's just going to sit in its box because I haven't got room for kits sitting
That's
around.
okay. Listen, let it
minifigs.
sit in the box. Those
Yeah.
are the only thing that is appreciated more than gold over the last 20 years is Lego kits.
You sure Kenner Star Wars, original Star Wars, isn't up there? No?
Lego has never gone down.
Really?
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, Lego's super popular. My nephew loves it and he builds sets all the time and always asks for a Lego set. And my sister-in-law's brother buys the Star Wars minifigs. He's in the military. He's been overseas a bunch, so he'll, I guess, order stuff and it shows up at their house.
right.
And he was telling me the last time he was here, all kinds of Star Wars like things they released that are like, for like an anniversary or something like that. But just the Star Wars minifigs for Lego is, he's got a bunch.
It is crazy. Over in the UK, there's a supermarket, Sainsbury's supermarket, and they've done a thing. I don't think they did it in 2023, but they've done a thing every year where they do, when you spend a certain amount, you'll get a little packet of cards, like Lego cards. And they've been largely kind of unbranded Lego, just Lego stuff. And then they flipped it, and in the last couple of years, they've done Disney related stuff. So there's been Marvel stuff, there's been Star Wars stuff, there's been Disney characters and Pixar characters. But they kind of are trading cards, but they're smaller, and you have to kind of rip off the perforations. So every single card has got like perforations things because it's in a bigger thing. And they've done those. But what would be really cool is if there could be it's been done with Funko. I think I'd really enjoy a Lego minifig Marvel set
Absolutely.
from Upper Deck.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that. And if they're not already talking about it, then paging Upper Deck,
Mm.
you should be, because that'd be quite a lot of fun. I think that'd be a lot more interest in that than Funko, I would say.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I had no
interesting.
idea.
He's about to say something wise.
No, it's interesting too because the Lego market doesn't care about banned characters or anything like
Nope.
that. Like there's
Right.
Deadpool minifigs, there's
Yep.
Gambits, there's this, there's that.
Silver
Lego
Surfer.
does not care. Yeah, Silver Surfer. Lego doesn't care what your banned character is. They've got a piece for it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm just picturing a huge Galactus with, like Fantastic Four, the whole battle scene
What, as a kit or as a card or both?
as a kit.
Yeah.
Because you can make, scale is always a problem with Galactus. So you can do
Yes.
this giant grandiose one with about 85 Marvel characters wrapped around him.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm.
I remember when I was in, and I regret to this day not buying it when I saw it, although I could probably go online and order it. When we were in the US in 2022, I was in a Target because weirdly, I know you probably think nothing of it, but for a UK person to come to the US, going to Target is actually quite cool. So don't judge me. But
Yeah.
they
I like
had
Target.
they had a Seinfeld like studio Lego set of like Jerry's apartment with
Oh, wow.
like
That's
George,
pretty cool.
Elaine, Kramer,
Yeah.
Jerry.
I believe they have an office also.
Yeah, they've got a Friends one too.
Yeah.
Central Perk, I think it is. No, it might not.
Yes.
No, is it Central
It-
Perk?
Yeah, it's Central Perk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd love one of those Seinfeld ones, and that would stay in the box because the joy of that is the fact that you're seeing it and you're like, they made that. Wow.
Josh, I had to check when you said Galactus Lego set real quick, but there is a custom because there's an aftermarket minifigure set.
Okay.
There's a lot of people using 3D printers to make minifigs, but there's no
Mm.
massive set like you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen
That would be cool.
Yeah. I've seen a couple, the helicarriers, some of the like special edition helicarriers that were
Mhm.
just massive. And people come up with like their own scene that they set up on it. And whatever it is, it's just, the scale is just awesome. I
Yeah.
love the idea of stacking a couple of those together and making like this giant panoramic.
Like Dad's train set that used to be on the table.
Yeah,
Instead, it's just
yeah, yeah.
Legos.
Well, it reminds me of the Will Ferrell in the basement of the Lego movie. If you've
Oh,
not
yeah.
seen the Lego
Yeah.
Oh,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'd be like that. It wouldn't be for play; it would be for show. And it's like, yeah, don't fucking touch it. Get off. Which would probably get me in trouble with the wife if I ever did that. So, I had a couple of things jotted down for this week. I didn't have anything major jotted down to this week. Can I just say, people really enjoyed the Black Cat episode. Which is,
Did they?
as we record, hey, there's a black
just
cat.
walked right-
Actually, a black cat, a real life cat. Just went. What's your cat's name, Wesley?
Hardy.
There we go. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. See, this guy takes it to the next level. He's actually acquiring living creatures and naming them. Dear me. So, what I wanted to, we quite briefly mentioned this on the chat. I think we're all kind of slightly leaning into characters on this podcast here. If you could collect a different character or a second PC one, who would it be? and why? I'll go first. Ego, and I've already started down that road. I just think the ego cards, the image of that planet with the face, and quite often some facial hair going on, depending on who does the artwork, is just gnarly and really like it's such a bonkers concept. I really like it. There's not that many cards of him out there. You know, I'll be done
Yeah.
in 6 months.
Need you one.
Possibly. Yeah. Or Hox Pox, House of X, Powers of X, Professor X. I almost went down that road at one point. And I did actually start down the road of doing a Spider-Gwed one back in 2018.
And
And
that
I
ended
bailed on
quickly.
that. Yeah,
And
I
that
bailed
ended
on that.
quickly.
Yeah, no, I did. But it was simply because I realized that I just couldn't, you just can't do that and Black Cat and still be able to afford to like pay the bills unless you're, you know, in a
See,
bigger
that's-
job.
Right.
So, so those,
That's kind of what I took into account with mine. I was looking at something that was a little bit, just not going to crush me as far as trying to get some of the parallels. And oddly, a devil dinosaur is one of them.
oh wow,
Yeah, where I saw somebody do the venomized version.
okay,
Awesome. So, a little bit out there. It's a little bit smaller of a character, easier. Moon Knight too. Moon Knight because of the Egypt background and story stuff
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
I'm good with all that. So
Yeah, there's a few Moon Knight collectors out at the moment. You've got Dave Kurz. You've got the guy. I don't think this is his real name, but his Facebook profile, his name is Mark Spector. Well, what are the
Yeah.
odds? I mean, of course,
Right.
that's not his real name. So I've no idea what that guy's real name actually is. But I'd love to have him on. We should have a Moon Knight collectors episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I that
Especially with
that
the set's about to hit. So
Well, yeah.
right.
Box break
The
coming
the
soon, by the way.
20 the 2020
Or
as
in the
far as
past.
like all the different Moon Knight cards I've ever seen, that 2020, which isn't some people, where it ranks with them, but I thought that Moon Knight card was possibly the best card in the set.
Which one? The masterpieces.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 2020 Marvel Masterpieces Moon Knight
I'm trying
was
to remember what it looks like now. Off the top of my
special.
head.
It was him like holding a guy falling, like diving down in between two buildings.
Right. Okay.
With like all cape. No, they did the face right where it's just all blacked out, just to scowls perfect. I had that red spectrum, and that's
Oh.
probably my
Oh, wow.
greatest regret was, yeah, that was silly. That was right.
coming soon is Ultimate Moon Knight and Black Panther #1 and Ultimate Black Panther #1.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I
Yeah, so
believe
they're restarting that whole Ultimate Universe.
and I
Are they?
believe that
Wow.
him and Conchu are on the same page, like they're one.
Oh, okay. So that's that could bring on a whole different spectrum of the
Those cards that Upper Deck showed the other day from the Moon Knight set looked really cool. They
They
had
do.
one that was almost gold, right? Like it looked
Yeah.
it looked really, they're getting super creative with their stuff.
They
lately.
are.
It's
They
super-
are. So
It seems like they're starting to have fun again.
they are, and I have to say, we are about to speak to some Upper Deck folks. And I'm not sure when this episode will drop. So this episode might drop after it, in which case I could spoil it, but I'm not going to. The guys we're speaking to next Friday, one of the guys is the guy who was on that video who designed the Moon Knight set.
Oh wow.
So we
That's
will be speaking to him. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to preempt the Moon Knight because I would like to do a Moon Knight kind of focus review episode because there'll be a box break happening. But what I've seen so far of that set just looks really cool. They've nailed it. They've just really leaned into the visuals.
Right.
They've
Yeah,
got lots of good
they
foiling
have.
going on. There's some really cool designs. The autos look fantastic. But yeah, no, it looks like a really, really interesting set.
Yeah. Yeah, the image selection of what I've seen so far and like just the close up on some of the characters and stuff is really good.
Mm,
It looks real crisp. Whereas,
Yeah.
sometimes you get just like little action scenes that's hard to tell what's what, but it
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. So as far as the second character thing, my problem is that I have my one, and then my 1A is everything else. You know, I like Magic. I like Dan Ketch. I like anything having to do with X-Men. The Summers family. I'll collect Cyclops for a little bit, then Cable, then I'll bounce over to Havoc. Like, if I were to pick something though, it'd probably be Hope Summers because there's,
Okay.
like you said, there's limited cards for her.
Yep.
She's a Summers, even though she's an adopted Summers. And I think that she's a really cool character too. She's basically wireless rogue, which is pretty cool.
Wireless rogue. Why did you describe it like that?
Because that's what she does. She absorbs powers that are around her without having to touch anybody.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's,
I
so
see.
she's
I
wired.
see.
That's-
I don't know because I
Yeah, she's
haven't
like
read
rogue
main
on Wi-Fi.
X-Men in
Yeah.
long. Apart from Astonishing X-Men and Hoxpox, I've not touched any X-Men, so I don't think I've ever read any storylines with her in.
That's true. And she
Mm.
wasn't around until the end of Hoxpox. And what she was in, she was just part of the Resurrection Protocols. She didn't really have a storyline, so to speak. So you'd have to look back to Messiah Complex, probably.
Yeah.
A lot of good David Finch art in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a good story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be proud of me, Keith. My Hoxbox hardcover managed to snag one on eBay. 'Cause
Nice.
They've gone up massively in the last 2 months on
yes.
eBay. Wow. I should have pulled the trigger when I saw them at 35. I got it for 55. That's UK. So
That's like only
$65.
$10 more than
Yeah.
what it was when I bought it, like
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
That's good.
So that should be here at some point this week, and I'm going to dive in again. Wesley, you've been reading it, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through it, and the first night I picked it up, I couldn't put it down. It was I was surprised, and also like when we talked last week about the Black Cat stuff, and it just reminded me I haven't really got in and sat down and read a lot of comics here lately. Man, thank you for bringing that up because that's a great story. And so far, anyway, I'm halfway through it, so it's
Are you following it?
whole-
Because it's convoluted. I had to read it almost twice before I really started to get stuff because
Yeah,
of how
I
much it
mean-
jumps around.
I think that I'm following it, but that just could be because I'm not that smart. But but the whole Moya McTaggart, you know,
If anyone hasn't read it, tune out now.
yeah,
Yep, spoilers.
That's all I'll say. That's man.
It's a bonkers concept. I love it. I love the
Yeah,
fact that
it's-
okay,
Because
it's like,
she's just been a background character you never paid
I
attention
know.
to forever. And
I
for
know.
her to have this major role is cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's when they were unraveling all that, and the structure of that issue is just mind blowing.
Yeah,
The way it works.
that's probably top 10, one of the best single issues I've ever read, I think.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
it
how they
certainly
had the
is.
whole like explanation of the like the definitions of different things on the sides of on the internal part of the comics where it's talking about the pills that make humans live 5 hours or 5 years longer, and I don't know, yeah, it's really
It's really good.
How
It's
about they
really good.
invented a language and there were
Oh.
clues throughout the whole series that you could pick up on if you started to figure out and decode the crypto and all that
Yep.
stuff that people went bonkers for. To this day,
Yep.
they still use it in some of the newer issues.
Yeah. No, it is crazy. I have to say, was it Jonathan Hickman? Is that him? If you haven't read it, Keith Boyle, in fact, you can hear him when the episode he was on, he recommended this to me. They did, Hickman did a 4-issue mini about 10 years ago. I can't remember the name of it now. This is Pox Romana. And having read that after Hoxpox, it's kind of like him trying out or getting used to some of those storytelling devices, including the timeline stuff, including the world building stuff done by kind of notes. He does it in that, and I strongly recommend you pick this up, Keith. You'll love it. So it's not Marvel. I think it was an Image 4-issue mini, and the concept is the Catholic Church invent time travel.
Okay, well, I'm
What do they
gone.
go back and do
Give me,
with it?
please hold.
Pax
see it.
Romana, I think it's called.
Well,
I think it's called that.
that you said that was Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it was a slow coming. I mean, it took years for it to come out, and I never finished it. But he did a series called Shield, there was kind of the history of Shield and whatnot, dating back to like, I mean, essentially almost the beginning of time. And I read the first couple issues, then it was like delayed for a while. But you had like Leonardo da Vinci in there, and I forget some other kind of scholars. And then it kind of jumped around in time, and he had like Tony Stark's father and Reed Richards' father. And so I don't know if you never read that. I think they finally wrapped it up, but that was a really good.
Wow.
If you like Jonathan Hickman, it's kind of that kind of weird, like he's done with some other stuff. So
He
I
does
recommend
that
that one too.
timey-wimey stuff really well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He really does. Timey-wimey stuff. Sure,
I think he did. Didn't Hickman do a Thanos book? One of the Thanos backstories. It's I'm trying to remember what they called it. I think it was called Thanos: A Mad Titan, but it was about his youth and stuff like that. I thought he did that one.
He might have done. He might have
He
done.
might
I don't
have.
know.
And and I think I remember it.
Yeah, I'm not like I don't have my normal inventory behind me, so but I have it. Someone got me two different ones, and I thought one of them was him.
You do still have a rather impressive cat tower behind you, though.
Yeah.
I've yet to see a cat actually on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks sturdy enough that you can climb it, Josh.
Oh, it's big time. Yeah, it's big time.
In fact, once we finish recording, give it a go for us, just to see.
I want to.
I'd pay good money to see you have a go at that.
I can make it happen.
And if you choose to settle at the top and lick your ass, even so much the better. So,
I mean, I do have pineapples on the shirt, and they're going all different directions. So I'm not gonna say it,
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Wesley.
Yeah, the for me, I hope I'm not interrupting, but I think this is what you're going to ask me. The second character thing, I talked a little bit about Ben Riley.
That's right. Yeah.
Just the idea of somebody is Spider-Man. He has everything that is Peter Parker for the most part.
Apart from Mary Jane.
Right. And Aunt May. And so he's got to wake up every day and just go through his life having everything the same as somebody else and not being able to be that person. It feels like glorious torture, I guess. But I think it's cool. I really
his suits are cooler. I'm sorry, I said it.
It's when during the Beyond sequence with that suit and what it could do and the other stuff too with I agree. I like the looks of it too. And the hoodie.
Yeah.
Would you focus on a particular costume or era of Scarlet Spider? Because I mean, there's the 90s, there was when he was Scarlet Spider, there's the costume when he's Spider-Man, and then when they brought him back, I mean, he's had some changes, and hasn't he been more of a kind of a anti-hero and villain since?
Yeah, he fell into a vat of acid or something like every other.
Right.
Yeah,
and wasn't he the new Jackal in the clone whatever? They did a clone deal several years ago, and there was a Jackal, and it was spoilers. I think it was Ben Riley, but
yeah, I just been going back and at Comic-Con this last year, I bought the whole series of the Beyond stuff and was reading that, and I love the look of the hoodie and stuff, but yeah, it just seems like he goes through a lot, and he's got blonde hair like me too, kind of with gray, so I can identify with some of the things.
He deals with a lot of mental health and anguish, and he's also the first Spider Carnage, I believe, too.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking
It's a
about
card. You've seen the card.
Wasn't that a reference to the 90s when he was Spider-Man? I think there's I forget the name of the number, but it's Amazing Spider-Man 4 something, and he gets possessed by Carnage.
You're probably correct. It's been a long time since I've read it. In fact, I think that whole clone thing in the 90s stopped me buying Spider-Man for a good few years. I only
It's helped
started
a lot
again
of
in
people.
2001 with JMS. Um,
I got stuff everywhere.
You've seen this
Um,
card. This isn't the card, but this is the image they ripped.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have. What's that from?
It's from
What set was that in?
God, I remember it was also like an embossed style card.
Okay.
It's
I mean, I may
definitely
have
older.
seen it. I don't, I don't tend to. They all look the same after a while. Those symbiotes to me. It's like red and sticky or black and sticky. And that's kind of, with teeth
Oh yeah.
and variations thereof. So, wow,
Yes, I
that's an
don't have
impressive size mug you've got going on there.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
I've got 6 of them lined up
You
here.
do get it because you had a
Ridiculous.
different thing you were drinking from just now.
Yeah, we got.
you
If
guys
you got
like these.
I got backups. There's plenty.
Oh wow.
oh,
You
that's
like
a
these
nice issue.
variants?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
I think it's super
Yeah,
cool.
that's a Craven's Last Hunt homage, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
Now,
Thought I
is
had it, but I
he
guess I didn't.
the version of that Iron Spider? The one that I really like is like it's like a classic look with the red stripes over the shoulders there. And isn't that Scarlet Spider? Because every
Yeah.
time I see that, that shows instead of Peter Parker. I always thought, like what we're getting in the MCU with him having the Iron Spider suit.
So
I didn't make
there's the red and yellow Iron Spider, which is the Tony Stark style one that we knew from Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
This one.
the MCU style one. Oh, so I didn't know that. And there's the Superior Spider one. I didn't know
Yeah.
that Riley had one also.
like it
That's what
shows.
it for the.
It shows.
So- So that is from because I
And it
read
shows
that
it as Scarlet Spider every
That
time.
one, the red and yellow one, that's the traditional
yeah.
Scarlet.
So
The,
that so I can tell you about that. So there was a series after Civil War called Avengers: The Initiative, which focused on government-sponsored heroes in different states, and it focused on the training camp. Those Iron Spiders, they called them the Scarlet Spiders. Those were clones of, I think it ended up, those were actually clones of a student that was like supposed to be the top student in the training camp that gets killed in the first issue. And they find out that they've been cloning him because I forget, he's got some connection with Marvel history. But those were clones of him. And as the series goes on, they go from 3 to I think eventually like just 1 because they get killed off. But
Right.
I don't know. They haven't really done much with that.
Clones of
since.
clones, is that?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Right.
But you find
Okay.
out that the guy that gets killed at the beginning, that's supposed to, you think he's the main character, then he gets offed. You find out that that guy was a clone too, and they end up meeting the real person. He's kind of unaware that he's been cloned, and then there's another bad kind of. I think the clone that was killed, his reanimated body comes up and starts killing people, and then you got the
Clones
people
of
in
the
the
people.
spider suits. But it was a good series. There was more to it than just that. It had all kinds of,
Yeah.
stuff that focused on just the Marvel universe post Civil War. So
And don't get me wrong, I'm more of a fan of Ben Riley than all the 75 other clone things that kind of between clones and time travel, and this confuses my poor brain. But
I'm confused just hearing
like
Jason
like anything
describe it.
created by Joss Whedon that just gets lost halfway through.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I tried to do my best to explain it.
No,
you did
Ian's
you did
face
well.
was awesome. His eyes just kept getting bigger and
You
bigger.
did well. I was
Yeah.
just
As
like,
you were
I was just like,
explaining
what?
it.
It's like it's one of those memes where someone's mind explodes. It's one of those just
Mhm.
happening. Oh, I'm getting
Mhm.
wrapped up in my
A
cable.
simulation inside a simulation.
It
The
is kind of
confused
thing.
math
Oh,
meme.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
my daughter, right? She's only 8, and yesterday she completely out of the blue said to me, "What if we're all asleep and we're just dreaming that this is our life or something like that?" And she came out with it, and I was like, "You've pretty much just described the plot of the Matrix." And then I went on to describe the Matrix, and 10 minutes later she'd lost interest whatsoever in the concept. But it was like, she's 8 and she's just come out with this concept out of the top of her head. I was like, hats off to you. Just
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Pretty cool.
And I was like, what? It's too early on Saturday for that. I need a drink in front of me. Don't. Um, Jason, you got Miguel, haven't you? Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
guess
know
I
you kind of
was.
stepped off him a bit, haven't you? And is it
Yeah, I
is it
did.
Madram Hydra now?
Um, no, I've this year I've gone. I think I've messaged y'all like I think every day I think of something new I want to collect. So
Oh,
I'm
don't we
still
all?
trying to figure it out. But
Stingray.
no, I like to focus. I think, I mean, I'm focusing. I still like Spider-Man 2099. I'm thinking about dipping my toe back in the pool there, but I'd like to focus on Spider-Man or Spider-Man related characters, but really kind of picking my shots and not necessarily getting everything, but getting some, if I like a base card or if I like a certain serial number card or, with that. So, I'd like to focus on, just kind of Spider-Man, Miguel, Miles, Gwen, and then, somebody in a spider suit. But as far as like secondary, I mean, yeah, I've done Madam Hydra a couple times, 3 times actually. And I've rainbowed images from MCU sets. And I like to do rainbow, sometimes do rainbows. So I mean, I've thought about, next time there's an annual or something else, pick a character that I like that I haven't really collected much. So like I'm kind of like leaning toward Blade, Black Panther, somebody like that has potential to have a cool card, cool image, and do a little, mini or do a rainbow of them for like one set. Not go full bore like getting every Blade card, but like kind of hone in on, one set. And so those two come to mind as far as somebody I'd like to collect.
Well,
I think
sometimes it's not your
Blade's a great
choice.
idea. Go ahead, Wes.
I was gonna say something like talk about what you were talking about last week or week before. Sometimes it's not your choice. Like you pull a card, a really good card that is somebody you haven't really thought about before. You
Yeah.
start researching. Next thing you know, you do a rainbow of somebody that
Yeah, Keith was saying the character finds you sometimes.
yeah,
Yep.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That,
mean,
that could be a t-shirt too.
if there were more cards of this character, I'd collect the original 80s New Universe Star brand.
Hmm.
I believe there's maybe only 2 cards that have ever come out of that character. One's from Beginnings in 2011, and one's from Marvel Ages, I want to say.
They made that character relevant again recently.
Yeah, but it's a different.
It's not
Well,
the
it's
same
kind of
Star
it's kind
brand
of a
because the
young
Star brand
tween.
passes itself. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a young tween with a blonde shock of hair or something like that. And it's just
Yeah.
like, no, it's the original Ken Connell Star brand in the
It
John
was a
Byrne
it was a baby for a while.
series. Yes, well, that's the thing, the Star brand. I mean, do you in the new universe, if I remember correctly, I don't know if anyone read the new universe. And listen, I've asked Upper Deck on air, not privately, but on air, if they'd consider a Fleer Ultra new universe, and the odds of them doing it because it would so not be commercially viable are virtually zero. But I can always dream. If I was going to have a Fleer Ultra anything, I'd have a Fleer Ultra new universe. But the Star brand has to go on to another living being. There was a big event halfway through New Universe that they did to try and boost sales of it because after a year it was struggling, and they did a thing called they did 2 things. One was the White event, and then there was a massive explosion in Pittsburgh that pretty much took out the city, and there was a mini series that came off that called The Pit. No, it was a one shot actually, and I think if I remember correctly, that was Ken Connell trying to transfer the Star brand onto an inanimate object, if I remember correctly. And I think that's what caused that massive explosion because you can't do it. It's the energy transfer is just too.
So he was trying to lose the burden of
I
being
think
the
so.
Star
Yeah,
brand.
it's a long time since I've read it, so I might have just gotten all that wrong. But I'm pretty certain it has to be transferred to a another person. You can't just it's like a tattoo with loads of powers. You can't just put it onto a building, and walk away. So yeah, but no, I'd love that if they do that, but they won't. So I will just carry on dreaming about it. But
Was it like a little ahead of its time, maybe with the because it seems like they're coming out with all these because it's just basically a separate universe, right? Like a different multiverse or something?
Yeah, well, no,
I never read much of it.
no, New Universe was set kind of parallel to. I think there were issues that they did cross over with main Marvel stuff occasionally when they needed a sales boost or something like that. But for the most part, I think it was its own thing. But Warren Ellis they tried to do a reboot of it called New Universal in the noughties, and it was pretty dark and it was very good. Warren Ellis did it. I think they only did about 3 or 4 issues, and then it kind of petered out. It was really good. I really enjoyed
Warren Ellis. It's hard to go wrong with Warren
Yeah.
Ellis.
Yeah,
It's automatically going to be dark.
yeah. So I'm very I've got, I would say I've probably got about 3/4 of the New Universe comics in one 200 comic box in there as part of this collection I've got. I might keep those because it's going to make no difference to the value of the overall collection because no one wants to pay for New Universe books these days. So I might keep them as my guilty pleasure. But no, it's interesting. I like the concept of having side characters, but there's also, people talk about stuff like side PCs. So I'll say I've got a side PC of comic cover cards, comic cover cards. So cards, that have front covers of comics on.
Right.
And I think of it as a side PC, and I use that term because for me, I don't go after it as hard as like a main PC like Black Cat, where a lot of it is about what you're willing to spend at the end of the day, or what you're willing to give up to go for it. Because I'll run through over hot coals sometimes for a Black Cat card if I see the right one or if it's the right item. But there are comic cover cards, like the Marvel Premiere did some shadow boxes of comic covers. I think it might have been 2014 set. And they're lovely, and I'd love to own them. But I don't want to spend that much on a comic cover card because they're pretty tough to get. So that's why it's like a side PC. And what determines that for me is the fact that I'm kind of, it would be nice, but I'll take it or leave it kind of vibe. Do you have anything like that going on where you kind of, it's just puttering along in the background and it's like maybe not as serious as your main thing? There's some
For me,
faces.
there's an original. Like I've just been doing original art.
Right, yeah.
Like it's just, you chance to, whatever you can come up with, or a version of a character that you wanted to see. The suit you can pick, you try not to restrict it too much, but that's again, like what you're willing to spend, because that can get nutty like everything else. But yeah, here and there, just a couple pieces. And so it's something else different. You're not always kind of waiting on a release, especially with all the pushbacks and delays that we went through recently,
I have to agree. I have to agree with you very heavily, Josh. I switched over to sketch cards for that very reason, because getting artists to do the card the way you want it versus the expectation of a set coming out and being upset with the depiction you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people have been waiting for banned characters to get off the list. So some people have been in a situation where they've got 1 or 2, 3 versions on main sets, of their character. And so if you start messing into the sketch card route, and even just commissions, it doesn't have to be, but there's so many different blanks. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
That gets fun too, kind of chasing the different blanks and things that you want to get them on, and then the different artists. And there's like, for example, what is Chris Foreman? He's been knocking out
on fire lately.
Just and for fantastic prices.
Yeah, his
fantastic.
Stuff is really good.
I love that card. Like the style is it hits that, like, that cartoony soft edge colors. And he just did a 2099. Jason, I was thinking about you when I saw it, with the background, with the black spider webbing background in the 2099.
Did he post it in group, or is it on his Instagram? Or
it's in group?
It's in group.
I was 2 seconds away from
for a day at the moment.
Somebody got to it before me, but I was 2 seconds away from for 65 a card or something.
I'll just find it. Yeah. I'll just find it while we're talking. So carry on as you were.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. I mean, we've kind of talked about the prices,
And
how
those are
some
just his warm-ups.
Oh yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just
Wow.
like, it's not if you come to him with a, obviously a timeline that's decent and he's got an idea of roughly. So I've been really impressed. The guy's been putting in a ton of work, and again, a price point that's just really, really fair.
Oh no, I just found it.
Yep.
So,
I
and
tried to.
I'm still trying to find it, but I'll put it
and
up on
while
the.
you're looking,
Oh.
I'm gonna make your life harder, Ian. So he did the 2099, and then he also posted a commission
Boom.
Ghost Rider, and you could see just the detail is solid throughout both of them.
It's like
Yeah.
taking a giddy jaunt
Good
down
call
Chris
out, Josh.
Foreman way. Um,
So this is I liked that. I like that 2099. This is probably my favorite 2099 sketch that I have.
Yeah. See.
This is Darren Pepe.
Mm.
I got this
Yeah,
in
I
a
like that a
trade. I
lot.
pulled a really odd domino sketch. It was nice, but a domino sketch from 2016 Marvel Annual when that was still on EPAC. And somebody actually really wanted it and offered this in trade. So I'm like,
Yeah,
sure.
that's a deal.
you
That's
know
a
what?
deal.
We're gonna
I
we're
like
gonna
that.
have Chris Foreman at the top of this episode. I've decided because, quite
Nice.
frankly, let's do it. Let's take a
Awesome.
little giddy jaunt down Chris Foreman Avenue, shall we? And look at some of the recent things he's posted on Group. First of all, can I just say I love this little stand he's got, this 3D printed stand.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
I want one of those, but with the podcast logo on. So if anyone could
And
pick it up.
it's very Marvel-esque.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He's done a really, really good. So that's the Wolverine he did yesterday. I mean, these go within minutes
Oh,
of time. They're so good. And there's some set
Yeah,
stuff. I'm
This
gonna
was such a cool
that's-
concept. Oh,
Yeah.
I
That's
loved
awesome.
this.
I'm gonna skip through and just look
wow.
at these ones for now, just
That's
because
nice.
that Gambit. I mean, that Gambit's brilliant.
it is.
He's
And
got
his
amazing.
signature is so recognizable. I mean, he's been doing it for well over a decade as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just focus on these.
Yeah, I like the little banner style.
Yeah.
Even this one right here. It's the
I like
colors.
perspective on it.
Yeah, it's fun.
See if I have some
That
more
is cool.
Foremans laying around.
Like that card, whether
It's
it's your
a great
character or
card.
not. It's a great card.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's have a look. Moon Knight.
Oof.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that
it's
background.
awesome.
I only just registered that background on the second time viewing of it. But I mean, the detail on the cloth is just,
Mhm.
that shading he's done here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's
That
just lovely.
is-
I'm just gonna scooch
Oh.
through that, and
Yeah.
I just want to look at these PSCs.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Who is
I
that?
don't know. Schickler, whoever that is.
Huh.
No idea. Could be
God
a
bless
Midnight
you.
Suns-esque.
Give them tight.
There we go. Keith
Oh,
wins the internet.
nice.
This is it's a Falcon and Winter Soldier one from last year.
Okay.
Yeah, his
Wow.
Spider-Man is true. It's like true to form. Very.
Oh, that's
Spider Punk.
there's one you don't see too much.
That's cool.
Yeah,
All
with a
right,
cool
I still haven't
background.
found this. I mean,
Look at that.
that's cool. Look at that.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Great guy to work with too.
Yeah, no, he is. Here we go.
Oh, that's
There it
nice.
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was from a few weeks back now. 13th of January.
That Wolverine looks great like that, just inked, like penciled,
just this
and then
one.
inked,
Yeah, yeah.
inked on just set, the
Yeah, you
few
can just
parts,
it's
like
process of it.
leave it just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, there you go. Preliminary art.
Yeah.
And
Foreman preliminary art. You could have an
I
insert set. He should
I
do his own
really
stuff.
like stuff like I like the finished product, but I kind of like
Mm.
the pencil sketch
Yeah.
stuff too, like that. That is sweet. That whole design he did there.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's nice.
It reminds me of the early 90s X-Men United like line where the pose is awesome. It's perfect. The whole thing's a whole
He
scene.
based it off that cover. He used that as the inspiration. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
trifold cover.
I have to say, we didn't kind of plan this or anything like that, but
Mhm.
I'm loving the fact that we're doing a Foreman focus on this episode. It's brilliant, and he'll love it
Wow.
too. That's pretty cool.
That classic suit is like
That Iron Man.
that's killer. It's killer.
So, anyone on audio, by the way, fast forward to the video on YouTube because you kind of need to see this, or just join MCCW and have a look for Chris Foreman posts, and you'll find them there. Here we go. Now, who's that?
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk. Or
Ah,
Darkhawk.
Okay.
Darkhawk.
Darkhawk.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be Darkhawk.
Some sort of hawk.
Maggot.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the line. I mean,
Oh wow.
wow.
Awesome.
Who's
That's-
that? Is that like a
Is that a female
Symbiote?
spider punk?
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
think it's like Spider Punk, Venomized,
cross with silk,
female.
maybe.
Female.
Yeah. Wow, that's a mashup.
That's cute.
That's cool.
That's
That's
Oh,
cool.
then he
That's
can
like
go-
a chibi silk.
She's
He can
spelling
go all
silk.
the way this style where it's, like total like that's like a Funko Pop like style to me.
That's fun.
know?
It's the eyes.
Yeah, and it's
The eyes what does it.
Well,
it works.
I like that. The shade of pink too really makes it
Mm.
pop. I know it's.
But look at the
I like
grading
it.
of it. It gradually changes.
Yeah.
as you go.
Hmm.
That's
And the way-
so
beautifully done.
much to it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and the silk what made like that, that's just
Yeah.
it's creative and it's clean. It looks
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh.
That's Peter Ray Bill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I don't recognize that helmet.
Pass. Oh,
Nice.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's cool.
it's
I like
really
that.
good.
That's nice.
That's yeah. I like that.
What?
Oh,
Zombie Ant-Man, maybe? Zombie
Giant
Giant Man?
Man.
Yeah.
yeah.
How long do you think it takes somebody to do a card?
I've no idea.
Yeah, it obviously depends on the card, but
These take Chris
Uh,
about an afternoon.
I think isn't
Wow.
that the guy that's got the different faces?
Yeah, the
Living
Arbiter-
Tribunal.
Living Tribunal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
Yeah,
Hulk
'cause you-
sketch I put up around noon. I was looking for some sketches, and one of them I put down was I was inspired by Hope or whatever. And
Yeah.
maybe 5 hours later, he hit up my DMs. He's like, "Hey, you inspired me. I made this. Interested?" And I was like, "Of course, jerk."
Yep. Thanks.
That's cool. I've no idea who it is, but it's cool.
He's
Serpent
part
Society?
of the Serpent Society. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so weak on character recognition.
Where is that from? Is that the protagonist from Iron Fist or
No,
what?
well, I saw a
Captain
little
Am-
bit of it in the X-Men stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
of it-
I think Captain America fought the Serpent Society a lot. So
He did. Funny story. They just got axed from the new Captain America movie.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Seth Rollins was supposed to be a member, and they filmed all the scenes and they just cut it all out.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty cool. No idea who that is, but
Oh, that's a good
Ro-
Ronin.
Ronan, yeah.
okay, good. Goodness me.
Hmm.
All for the price of one in that picture.
That Doom's killer with the 4 in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, just noticed that.
Oh, Baron Zemo.
Yeah.
That's a good Baron Zemo.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool. I like it. There we go.
Is
I
that,
think
that version
if
of
you want-
Iron Man, the green suit? I don't
possibly. I mean, I think. Wow. Polaris. I dig it.
Yeah.
Symbiote Spider-Ham.
I mean,
Nice.
just fun. He does these fun
They're
ones
fun.
that
Those chibi style ones.
Yeah. No,
This is
that's
awesome.
cool.
I'm happy we went down this rabbit hole because
Yeah. No, it's good. Well, we were
Absolutely.
talking about Side-PCs, and you can do no worse than having Side-PC or Chris Foreman
Oh,
warm
I
up
like
sketches
that.
like this.
I hope
And,
we blow up his DMs.
I'm sure.
There's a
I'm sure.
couple
like
I'm sure
these.
Chris's bank balance wouldn't mind if anyone started
Yep.
a Side-PC of his.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yep.
already. If you want to buy something from him, what do you do? I mean, you just go to his. He's got stuff
Oh,
for
yeah.
sale on
Mate,
his
just
Facebook.
message
or-
him.
just
Just message him.
Yeah, message him.
But this one right here is like I'm picky about weird things, and the spider is awesome.
Mm.
The spider is
This-
awesome. He does
Is
it.
her
he does-
lip smirking? I mean, because I think that's cool. Like
Yeah,
she's
it
It
kind of
almost
got
looks
her
like she's surprised.
right?
Or
yeah.
disdainful.
just
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
She like,
Yeah.
what are you doing
Yeah.
here?
He's like, oh, you again.
Right.
Yeah,
This
she just saw
is
me
just-
take off my shirt.
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh,
it's 3 o'clock in
pretty
the morning.
cool.
Go back
It's
to
pretty
bed.
cool. This is going to be right. This episode is a Chris Foreman
Oh,
episode.
those are cool.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Look
Weapon
at that
Doom.
dupe.
Dude,
Weapon
nice.
Doom.
Fucking sweet.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, he's got a sense of fun.
I love it.
He doesn't hold back on having a
Wow.
good time with some
That's
of these.
cool. Weapon Dupe. How have I not
Look at the
seen this?
phone out of his head into his
I know.
arm. It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh.
And it's taped on. There's a
Wow.
little like
Yeah, it's
little,
taped.
little bit of tape on there. He's got something taped over his helmet as well.
Oh, that's freaking great.
Oh, it's just wonderful. I think we might have peaked. Well, I haven't said that.
Nice.
pretty good.
That's
That
nice,
null.
Noel.
It's a really nice null.
Wowzers. Okay.
Spider
Oh.
looks good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There we go. Come listen to Five Grown Men Ooh and Ah over Chris Foreman sketches for an hour. That's pretty cool. Right. I'm going to. Otherwise, I'm sure somewhere, wherever Chris Foreman is as we record, his ears are probably bright red and he's like, what's going on? What's going on?
Something.
Someone right behind me. Cool. Yeah, it's weird. If you've got like multiple like things that you consider side PC, I guess it becomes a bit of a patchwork, doesn't it? Really. I mean, how many of those like threads, if you like? I kind of think of it as when I start a new side PC of this, or I start collecting this, or I start collecting this, as kind of like when a spider throws out a line, if you like, to build the web, and you're kind of just doing this thing. And the way I'm starting to think of it is that is there's no side PC. This side PC, it's just part of your collection. It's just a different area of it. It's just like, oh, I like to collect this, a bit of this, bit of this, bit of this. You know, I don't know.
I think that's what
a
Sketch
cool
allows
thing.
me to do too. I don't need to worry about serial numbers and getting into a rabbit hole of collecting hope that way. I can just collect, if I'm just in the mood for some Ghost Rider stuff, I'll go on eBay and be like, Ghost Rider sketch cards. Okay,
Yeah.
here's a cool one. And I can satisfy that itch without going down a rabbit hole of having a rainbow something and find this variant and this, that, and the other thing. So I think that's a good way to call that out, actually, is that it's a grab and go kind of thing.
Yeah.
Makes it safer.
Just collect
Yeah.
little bits of what you fancy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year I found I kind of got into autos a little bit, but finding on ComC or eBay, finding autos on Marvel cards for under $50 of actors that like are in other stuff that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
They're not like, they're not like, for whatever reason, people don't go after them like they do Tom Holland, Chris Evans, blah, blah, blah. But, I found some, I just grabbed what I have close to me, but like, I got to take it out. But this guy from Captain Marvel, he was in Gladiator.
Oh, Jimon Hansu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've talked about this one before. I got
That's a
that
nice
recently.
That's a
Yeah.
nice
Wow.
Such a shame. Wasted usage on him. I wish we could get more of him.
I know.
Yeah.
He's it, and if you haven't seen on Hulu, he's in a movie called Boss Level. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. It's action Groundhog Day, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's got Mel Gibson in it, Naomi Watts. So
Oh wow, okay. He's
and-
seriously badass as well, Frank Grillo. I saw him being interviewed. Right, here's a podcast recommendation for you all. Did you ever watch Smallville? Anyone?
yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah.
So
Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum does a show called Inside of You. He's just done 300 episodes, and he speaks to all sorts of people. I think the first episode I watched was last year with him and Jonathan Frakes, and you're
That was
watching
good.
him interview Jonathan Frakes, and Jonathan Frakes is swearing like a trooper. And it's like, this is Riker. But you're kind of seeing people relax and just like chill out and talk about their careers, and and people talk about some pretty like bonkers like health stuff as well. Like they had the guy from Reacher on, and he was talking about his troubles with bipolar and depression and stuff. So it's he does try to get inside of the people he's talking to. But Frank Grillo was on about 9 months ago, and it was fascinating listening to the guy because he talks about his fighting skills and how people react to him and how he often gets people who are drunk challenging him when he's out and about and
Sure.
that sort of stuff and that sort of side of it. Yeah, it's really interesting. I strongly recommend everyone check that out. I'll put a link to it in the show notes, but it is really good. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I've been watching that for
Mm.
a while, and it is really good, really
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah, they had the woman who played is it Nancy in the Nightmare on Elm Street movie,
Oh
the
yeah,
Langham Camp. They had her
Oh.
on, and obviously she's probably in her 60s now, and she's they get into the I think one of her children who died about 3 years ago from brain cancer, and he was grown up. So they
Ooh.
get into that, so you've got some really interesting stories alongside the, how people sort of deal with life basically. So it's actually quite good from that point of view. It's the kind of thing Chris Hardwick used to do a little bit, is get into, talking to people and talking about their their lives and not just their latest thing they're promoting. So yeah, I recommend
Yeah.
it. Give it a
Did
watch.
you guys ever watch the TV show 6 Feet Under? I might be dating myself, but
Years ago, back in the day, yeah.
I never watched it. I know about it.
I found a Rittenhouse box and opened it up and got a few.
Oh, hang on, let me make you big, as it were. Oh, you got a Peter Krause. Nice. He's a
Yeah.
good
cool.
actor.
That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those are
Two
nice looking
lines.
autos.
Those are
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
surprised. I
Rittenhouse
thought it
on card.
really,
They're gonna be.
and it
Who's
was
that?
the box was cheap. Ed
Oh
Ross.
wow. Yes, he's been in loads of stuff. I think he's passed
And then
away
that's the
now.
last one. Joel Brooks.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Yeah,
But these are all
you
like on
recognise the
card. I
faces.
thought that was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rittenhouse stuff is always on card. Always on card. I kind of got the
Yeah,
vibe that
I'm dying for a Tom Hardy Venom. Dying. Gotta get Tom Hardy on a Venom.
well, yeah, don't know if that'll happen anytime soon, but
No.
but
Yeah.
here's the thing. On to your point, actually, someone made a comment on group earlier about Moon Knight autos and said that the Moon Knight set doesn't look like it's got any of the really weak autos or the stuff like that. And I kind of commented back and said, I think it's one person's weak auto is another person's absolute steal because I attach value to the autos based on other things I might have seen that actor in. So a prime example is the other day on another group, I think the pop culture group, I picked up an auto from the Hawkeye set of an actor called Tony Dalton, who was the guy in the mustache. I can't remember the actor's name, the character's name in Hawkeye now.
Jack Duquesne.
That's it, Jack Duquesne. But for
Swordsman.
15, yeah, that's it. For $15 for me, that's an absolute steal. Because if you've seen him in Better Call Saul, he was absolutely phenomenal in Better Call
Yes.
Saul. And it's like,
Oh my God, that's what he's from. Holy
yes.
shit.
I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff, but that was just incredible, that performance, especially in that last two series. And it's just, when you get something like that, you're not just buying, it's not just about that actor in that set. If you go after it, you're buying it because that actor has been phenomenal in loads of other stuff. So here's a prime example. Spider-Man Homecoming has got it's got a lot of autos that don't sell for very much, apart from Michael Keaton. Yeah, it's got about 15 autos, and a lot of them are the smaller characters and things like that. One of them, and he's the guy who plays Flash. His autos never go for that much. Tony Revolori or something like that.
Right.
And his autos from Far From Home don't go for much, and his autos from this new set I don't think are going for that much. He was the bellboy in the Grand Budapest Hotel movie.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible movie. And I'm like, that's cool to me. So for me,
Yeah.
that's a cooler autograph to own. You can go and pick it up now for $10
Right.
on ComC.
Speaking
wanted
of
to.
Spider-Man Far From Home,
Oh, that guy. Hang
This
on, let me
guy,
make that. Yeah.
Bokeem Woodbine,
Yes,
is in
he's been in
everything.
so much good
And
stuff.
this has gone up a little bit, but I think I got it for 10, $12. And
I've got to say, I recently parted with a lot of mine. In fact, I've still got some for sale. I need to do another post because my issue with that is probably everyone's squinting at the screen is because the autos are dark on a dark background.
it is,
Yeah,
it is.
it really doesn't work as an
Yeah.
auto color.
Okay.
It's
Because I
a
couldn't
real
see it at
shame.
first.
So
Until you-
it's a relic card with a sticker auto, but the relic card is black. The sticker
Yeah.
auto is clear, and they've signed in dark blue ink.
Yeah. Go with gold or something.
It doesn't work at all. Really
Yeah.
doesn't work. And I think that speaks to, remember, Upper Deck recently was saying that they've started to work on the card design around the placement of the auto
Mhm.
and make sure, I don't think that would happen today, but I think that's a real shame that that particular insert just doesn't work because of that. You've stopped sharing. Oh no, you're going to share stuff again?
And not a Marvel card, but
no.
talking about somebody that, has been in a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. I think I pulled that out of a pack, but I kept it
Yeah.
because he's a good actor.
So that's Lance Henriksen. So that's an Alien Free, which I think is still available on EPAC.
It is.
You can pick up his auto on that Alien Free card for like a fifth or a sixth of his auto as Bishop on the Aliens card.
Wow.
And he probably signed those stickers in the same go because Upper Deck had a deal with him to do so.
Right.
But of course, Bishop in Aliens is the where everyone
Icon.
Yeah. So I get it, but I guess what I'm saying, there's value in those autos beyond the set that they're in, and it's the same with comic creator autos as well. You get some of the ones from the Marvel Creators Collection and is it Marvel? Yeah, Marvel Creators Collection in '98, and a lot of those writers are, Dave DeVries has got an on-code auto in that set because he was doing Marvel Comics work at the time. Peter David has got an on-code auto in that set. Loads of these creators that are kind of now, up, are kind of, you're thinking, okay, they went on to do some stuff that really pushed them up a bit in terms of their profile. Right. You can find some pretty good stuff, and some very, very capable creators, be they actors or artists or writers.
Mhm.
On
Did
some of
the
those
Aliens set have the big name autos like all the way to the top?
Yeah, had Sigourney Weaver.
Had
Really
Sigourney
difficult to
Weaver,
pull. Really
because I'm
difficult,
picturing
yeah.
her auto on like one of those loader cards, like the battle scene card where she's got the loader.
She's on the friggin'
Yeah,
the mech
Yeah.
warrior.
they didn't have that as the imagery, unfortunately. They were horizontal cards, the ones in Aliens. They were thick as well.
Okay.
Actor, I think they had some sort of actor reactor or something like that.
Right.
Something like that, and they had singles, they had duals. I don't think they had more than duals. But you could get one of the best ones I've seen. You can get a Sigourney Weaver and a Newt dual, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't tend to go for duals. I like them single,
but Alien 3, I don't know if she was in Alien 3 or if she was. I mean, her autograph.
She was. Her auto wasn't.
Okay. I thought that maybe it was attached to maybe an achievement or something, but I don't. Yeah, so really Lance Henriksen and then these guys.
Charles Dutton is a very
Charles
good actor.
S. Dutton, yeah, and Danny Webb.
Danny Webb, he's an English actor.
Yeah, and I just realized
English.
he plays a mob boss in the Alfred show.
Okay.
Which it's an okay show, but I pulled that actually, and but nobody really cares about it. It's like 1 in 900 or something. But I kept it. It's a nice looking card.
So that's the thing. Yeah. And Game of Thrones is brilliant for that because there's so many actors in Game of Thrones that the majority of collectors, especially in America, don't know of because a lot of them are English actors. And so for me, I can pick up autos of English actors who've been in some incredible movies and some incredible shows in the UK. Well, I mean, they're available everywhere, but they're more recognizable for the UK, but really cheap. People like, let's just think of one off the top of my head, Roger Allam. Now, you might not know the name Roger Allam, but he was in Game of Thrones. He's a very, very capable character actor. He happens to do the voices of Moon and Me, which was Sarah and Duck. There we go, Sarah and Duck, which was an animated show that my kid used to watch a few years ago. But that's not all. Roger Allen was in V for Vendetta. And if you watch V for Vendetta and you realise who he is, you're like, yeah, it's pretty cool to have his auto.
Which character was he in V for Vendetta?
I can't remember. I knew someone was going to ask me that. I just remember he was in it. He was kind of one of the main bad guys, if I remember correctly. But Game of Thrones is riddled with them. You got loads of them. You remember that guy who was in the Stranger Things series, who played Eddie?
Yes.
Eddie, the kind of bad boy.
Yeah.
Keith's looking a bit blank. You up on Stranger Things?
I didn't watch it.
Oh well, never mind. He was in
Good.
Game of Thrones, and as soon as Stranger Things hit, his Game of Thrones also went like this.
Yeah,
It's on card.
With Stranger Things, it was the content, like the timing, the state, the 80s, the video games going on in the
Yeah.
80s.
It's up my alley. I know I'm supposed to watch it, but I haven't. yet.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
I think it's good. It is really well done. It's very fun. I'm glad they're wrapping it up though, because it's kind of like okay,
time.
it was time. Yeah. What was I going to say? While we're randomly just talking about loads of stuff that may or may not be Marvel card related, has anyone seen the new Ghostbusters trailer?
Yes.
Love it.
Oh,
Yes.
I haven't seen the other. I haven't seen the.
the newest one.
Yeah, I haven't
It's
seen.
good.
I saw the trailer, but I haven't seen the movie. The other one that came out.
Oh,
before,
Afterlife. Oh,
Afterlife.
The one with
right.
the
I haven't
first one
seen
with
that
Rudd.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first
What are
one.
you doing
I
later
liked
on
it.
today,
Yeah.
Jason? What are you doing
What's
today?
that?
What are you doing today?
Laundry, talking to y'all.
Watching
where's it
Ghostbusters
streaming?
Afterlife.
I mean, what's
Watching.
it on? What's it streaming on? Do I have to go?
It
we
sounds
don't
like
have
Paramount
Blockbuster.
to me.
It's one of them. No, it's on. I think over here I saw it on Netflix the other day.
Oh, there you
Came
go.
up as a suggestion.
I don't have. I guess I have to.
And
subscribe
I think
to
you can
Netflix.
rent it on
Yeah.
Amazon. Go to
Yeah,
Blockbusters. They'll have it.
Yeah,
They can
Blockbuster.
take my money. They can take my money with the new one.
Yeah.
Just be
The
kind
new
and
one looks
rewind.
pretty good.
Yeah,
It does.
nice reference there, Wesley. Or you can just seriously, you can probably just Amazon it on DVD, and you'll have it like tomorrow.
Right.
DVD.
Blu-ray.
They still make
Blu-ray.
those?
Yeah,
I
very
think they're
much
gone.
so.
I think they're gone too.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, I love them. I've just suddenly realised, by the way, before we start recording, that this computer I'm watching it on has got a Blu-ray player in it. Like, who knew? Who knew? We're massively off topic. I can't remember what we're talking about now.
We were talking about autos and stuff. And then we were
Autos,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
Ghostbusters.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's finding that value in there. So
I actually have a
it's
question.
quite a lot of fun.
So why isn't there, and this might be a question for you to write down, Josh, for Friday, why isn't there a Venom set? Why isn't there a Let There Be Carnage set? With all this Sony, Spider-Man, MCU stuff that they put out in Upper Deck, why was there never a Venom set
Yeah.
that went with the movies?
I mean, I could probably answer that question. I think Upper Deck's deal is with Marvel and Marvel Studios as part of that, whereas those are Sony products,
Gotcha.
and they don't have a license agreement with
So
Sony.
if you're
Otherwise,
looking-
we'd see a Ghostbusters set.
Wasn't part of the deal. It's got some interesting literature there as far as I thought there was an agreement to have Tom Hardy as part of an MCU movie in the Venom role, and then Tom Holland was going to play part in a Sony Paramount project
There's some sharing. Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
compensation offer,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to bolster each respective
Yeah.
universe for each company, because having them as both phenomenal actors doing that crossover legitimized. And so that's why,
We've done the Tom Hardy bit. He was in the end credits, mid credits sting or whatever. Spoilers, by the way. Of No
the
Way
bar
Home.
scene.
No Way
Yeah.
Home. No Way Home.
Yeah, the bar scene where a piece of Venom gets left behind.
Yeah.
And
That can't count though. That's just a tease.
Right. No, that
Yeah, but
can't.
Tom
That
Hardy
doesn't
has
count
been
as
in
sharing.
a Marvel movie.
Right.
right. Well,
So
what about did anybody see Morbius?
No.
no, not yet. I mean, I
Okay,
only
it's not
recently
as
saw the
bad
first
as
Venom
everybody
movie,
said it.
and I absolutely loved it. It was an absolute hoot.
But can I do spoilers? So the
Yeah,
end
I'm not
credits
gonna-
scene.
La la
the
la
end-
la la.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay. The end credits scene of Morbius is he gets busted out of prison by Michael Keaton.
Okay.
So
Oh.
So what that leads to Sinister Six potential.
look at Ian.
We should give him we should give him a thumbs up when we're done.
Surely not. Surely not. Is it finished?
You're back.
There we go.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
Good. You were getting my theatrical reaction.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, Doctor Octopus is going to come. I think Doctor Octopus should Doctor Octopus wave us goodbye maybe for this week.
Sure.
As we wander randomly
Yeah.
through the town. Give me something exciting card wise that you have happening in the next 7 to 10 days that you're excited to talk about or look forward to or show us just before we go.
Hopefully, I'm still waiting on my box of Midnight Suns.
You
but
still not got
not yet.
that? Ugh.
Not worried, but because sometimes I've been a couple. I don't rush the shipping from DNA, and so I've
Okay.
had a couple
Just
take a
whenever they
little
get to
bit,
it,
but not too bad.
You really should have had those by now, though.
Yeah.
I would have
What,
thought,
2 weeks?
yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks plus. Yeah.
I had one sent recently that it came back on USPS saying that the address at some point was not recognized. So
I mean, I haven't had anything take more than 3 business days ever from them.
really, okay,
Well, you're a lot closer to them, aren't you? So they
yeah,
probably
Oh, that's
just drop
true.
it off on the way to work.
yeah. You're real close.
Literally.
That's
You're real
true.
close.
Yeah. So, in fact,
I
they probably
do,
pocket the money and have an employee do that.
And then if timing wise, I don't know if it's going to fall within the next couple, but if EPAC releases for 22 from Marvel
Well,
Masterpieces, that's gonna
I'm going to be. Well, we'll talk about this after we finish recording. Actually, um, yes.
be-
People all over the world going, "What's he want to say? What's he going to say?" It's nothing that exciting, kids.
Well,
It's nothing that exciting.
I thought I'd have a ComC order this weekend. I placed the order on January 2nd, in slow shipping, so it was going to take about a month. It was supposed to ship, the 31st, and now I look at it and it's shipping, between February 29th and March 1st. So
Now that makes sense.
I mean, and I got an email on the 17th saying it's online to ship, and then I've received no notification. So I have to reach out to them, but I was a little disappointed.
About how many pieces?
Probably
Just a
20.
rough. Yeah, that's about the threshold of time. Yeah. It really depends on how many pieces you're shipping, I feel like. If I've shipped like 3 to 5 cards, I'll get it in 2 to 4 weeks. Anything over that, it's a month or plus.
They're getting a bit slow again. I noticed.
I mean,
Yeah.
usually
Not as slow as it was.
yeah,
for years,
usually it's about a month. I haven't had to wait, but this is like, I mean, it was showing like tracking about right, and then all of a sudden it's another month added to it.
Yeah, I've never beat anything with six weeks for quantity.
Wow.
If it's up there, it's never come sooner than like 6
Yeah,
weeks.
I disagree. I disagree with all of you guys because I'm being disagreeable or too agreeable.
You've yet to flip over a table.
Yeah.
Knock down that stack of binders behind you.
Yeah, throw a cat at the camera, real or otherwise.
Somebody, oh my God, I did just get my my last box of Midnight Suns, and these medallions are just so cool. I got a Iron Fist medallion,
Oh,
and
nice.
then
Is that a platinum one?
this one's a gold.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
then,
but it's good. It's the foiling's nice.
yeah.
Hang on,
Yeah.
hang on. He's on show and tell, so let me spotlight you. Hang on.
And
Oh,
then
hello.
I've got a
I,
Red
Foster
Thor.
4. Yeah, nice.
That's
one is
cool.
freaking
really like the way they did the autos on the Midnight Suns.
Yeah, and then here's this again. It's so shiny.
Yeah.
Oh, that is lovely.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I've got that Black Cat card showing up sometime this week.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to show me something then. Okay.
No.
Never mind. Did I tell you I picked up the Black Cat Orange of 25?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, base. It cleaned me out. So, but yeah, I managed to pick one of those up. So, everything is kind of relatively straightforward from there on, because I don't think I'm going to go. Is there a green out of 10? No, hang on. Green's not the. What are the parallels?
Yeah, I think there is an emerald.
There's something of 10.
Well,
isn't
there's
there?
an emerald medallion. I was just
Yeah,
looking
no,
at
it's
this
the
really
base
last
parallels I'm trying to
time.
remember, because I get confused between the medallion and the base. So
The
you got
base
base,
greens aren't
yeah, you
numbered,
got
I don't
base,
think.
then you got green, you got blue, you got orange. I'm missing something.
I've got it
No.
right here. Oh, so you got
Red.
the green, the blue, red autos, purple 35, orange 25, and then the gold spectrum 1 of 1.
Oh,
And the
okay.
picture pro.
So 25 is the lowest until you get to the 1 of 1.
It is actually that well.
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah, I think that was my thinking when I picked it up, because I've clearly been to sleep since then. But I was thinking that the 1 of 1 is kind
Somebody
of
put the
unlikely to fall
Venom
my way.
up on eBay.
I saw that.
Yes, he was valuing it in group, and then he popped it on eBay. Yeah, good luck to him. Someone just dropped
Oh,
what 10K on a Venom Lucky 8
That
shade.
blew
Yes.
my mind. That blew
Yes.
my mind.
So,
Well, there's reasons behind that.
well, yes. All right, kids. I've loved having a Foreman interlude. We've kind of got this. This episode had 2 clear, distinct moments in it: before Foreman and after Foreman. And I feel like after Foreman, we were so kind of like sated from looking at gorgeous artwork that we all had a little afternoon. So on that note, Keith, it's about time. It is time, my friend, that you closed off an episode. Do you feel like you've warmed up to it now after
I
after
think
8
so.
episodes?
Hold on. Let me get my notes. Yes. Okay. Everybody have a great day and enjoy collecting.
Yay!
Yay!
We finally got it. We finally got it. Brilliant. I'll clip that and use it on a reel or something. Whatever kids do these days.